Hey everyone, and welcome back. So the holidays are very quickly approaching, and that means that a lot of us living with type 1 diabetes are going to be traveling by plane pretty soon. And with that comes the added stress of your diabetes supplies and going through airport security. I know travel itself is very stressful, but when you add all of these supplies that you need to bring with you to the mix, it can be very overwhelming. So I wanted to talk a little bit about just some of the things that I do when I pack my diabetes supplies. And I also wanted to talk about your T1D devices like your insulin pumps and CGMs, and just some things to keep in mind when going through airport security. So before I get into the actual supplies, I thought it would be good to mention that I always pack all of my diabetes supplies when flying in my carry-on, like this one, a small little carry-on, because you never want to check in your diabetes supplies because there's a chance that they could lose that bag or misplace it, which is a situation that you don't want to be in. One thing I really like to do with my supplies is just to separate them into clear plastic baggies like this one. It's obviously especially important for your insulin since it's a liquid and it does need to be in a clear plastic bag, but I kind of just do it with the rest of my supplies as well because it helps me to organize and just to know what's where. And in case they were to ask me to take it out, I kind of know where the sharps are, I know where the liquids are, and so on. When I travel, I also bring a doctor's note that's signed by my endocrinologist that just says that I have type 1 diabetes and I'm going to be traveling with all of these supplies. It's pretty easy to just print this out, leave it in your bag in case you're ever asked for it. I like to make sure that any medication I'm bringing has my prescription labels on them. I don't think this is really necessary, but I just like to have it just in case it does come up and they want to verify that it's mine. Once you're done with all your packing, your preparation, you're at the airport standing in the security line. If you're wearing an insulin pump or CGM, the next thing you'll have to think about is just what scanner you can go through with your device. So it's important that you look up on the company website of whatever device that you're wearing, what it's allowed to go through and what it can't go through. Most airports just have either a full body scanner or a metal detector where you can walk through, and then your luggage always passes through an X-ray machine. So it's important to just know which things need to be taken out of your bag and can't go through an X-ray machine, and which scanner you can walk through with your devices on you. It's important to note that you should never take off your insulin pump or your CGM when going through airport security. If you know that you can't go through the metal detector or the full body scanner with your devices, then you can always flag down a TSA agent, let them know that you're wearing a medical device and that you need a full body pat down instead. This is always an option for you, so don't feel like you have to walk through any detectors at all or scanners. The pat down is the way to go for a lot of your devices. Online, it says that Medtronic, Tandem, and Dexcom can all go through metal detectors, so normal metal detectors, but they can't go through the full body scanner or through the X-ray machine, the conveyor belt, which shouldn't be a problem if you're not taking off your devices in the first place. Omnipod, the pod and PDM are the only ones that can go through the X-ray machine. But just for safety purposes, I would say not to take any of them through the full body scanner just because online, I've done a lot of reading about it and it just says that they haven't really been tested enough for all of these devices. So to avoid any problems or your devices malfunctioning, I would just say, if the only option that you have is a full body scanner, I would just opt for the pat down instead. It'll only take you a couple more minutes, but it's definitely, I think, worth the extra few minutes to just avoid any problems with your insulin pump or CGM. I've had a few instances where I have told the TSA agent that I can't go through the full body scanner with my device, and they've told me to just walk through it, and I've had to just insist that I cannot walk through it because my device might malfunction if I do. So it's important that you kind of just stand your ground and let them know that your device can absolutely not go through this machine. So those are just some things to keep in mind when going through airport security and TSA, just to make sure that the process goes as smooth as possible. I will say that you should definitely get to the airport, with plenty of time in case you do need any extra security checks or get a pat down, so that you're not really stressing about being late or anything like that. And as far as packing, I would definitely pack more than what you need. I always bring double the supplies that I think that I'll need, just in case I will be there longer than I'm planning or anything like that. Better to have more than less. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time, and happy travels.